bard like this, how can we fail?
We're now on, I believe.
Low.
I forgot to paint the 11 on this dice.
What an absolute rookie. Right, so people that are currently sat in chat or whatever watching us on Twitch, hello. This is the Heavyweight Gaming channel. It's essentially, we're bored, we can't do other stuff, so we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Yay! This is our campaign Black Sun Knight. This is our third session. You guys are all level 3? Are you level 3? Are you level 1? Oh,
level 20.
You're level 3, level 3. Cool. I've got too many games going on. I'm Adrian. I am the Dungeon Master, if you can't say that from the two massive words under my face. And the angelic light behind me. I'm in my kitchen because budget is low. You will hear my children in the background screaming at each other playing Fortnite. I will be attacked by a baby several times throughout this stream. It's all part of the plot, so just go with it. The players, we have Hannah playing Venveer. We have Steve. Wave Steve with your smiley face. Playing Flabbergast. We have Abraxas, who I hope is waving, played by Jamie, who essentially looks like a cross between Mufasa and Simba. And
it's not wrong. It's not wrong.
And we have Rob playing Rozag. So we will jump straight in. 2 seconds. Just doing the first shout out to the children to calm themselves down. So over the last couple of sessions, this lovely bunch came together in the town of Cruel. The town of Cruel is a very famous worldwide, or at least half the globe, known adventuring town. A tavern was built many moons ago by a half-orc called Orlov, and it is called the Tommy Wasp. A town then built up around it of bits of wood, canvas, etc., and it grew and grew into this large adventuring town where adventurers from new starters right through to veterans of adventuring death, adventurers adventuring, all go, buy stuff, and they buy stuff. That was the ginger child kicking off. They go, they buy stuff, they kit themselves out, they swap stories, and adventurers are born, made. Lovely. Cruel. Town of Cruel. It's lovely. It's on the Great River Talhalla that goes through a continent known as Heroes' Rome. Heroes' Rome is ground zero for where the human, fae and demon wars happened many, many moons ago. We join our lovely players where they went to Cruel, cracked out together, decided to take a adventure off the job board, because no tavern is complete without a job board. And they decided to take the job on to go to the Tower of Light to eradicate the cultists of Edu. They went to the tower, they got jumped by bandits and got rid of them. They then made their way to the tower and got jumped by some demonic guardians, which they then battered. They then managed to defuse the trap on the door by sending the warforged barbarian at it 3 times. Successfully, he did get through the trap, I'll give him that. They then
just headbutting the door down.
Headbutt the door down. He then ascended the tower right to the top and entered the topmost floor of the tower, where there were 3 cultists, a flying serpent of sorts in the rafters, and some sort of warforged body on a table with lots of chanting, oohing and ahhing going on. They ran in. They were noticed because they ran in. Then we rolled initiative at the end of last session, and it was Rozag, Flabbergast, Abraxas, Venver was the order of initiative. So let us start this merry combat. Just for those that missed the description last week, the room has bits. It has a single table in with a warforged upon it. There are 3 cultists in there in their robes, and the flying serpent in the rafters. The topmost tower room, floor room, whatever you want to call it, is approximately 25-30 feet across. Almost, if it wasn't circular, it'd be 25 by 25. So you ran in. Rozak, you react first.
So 3 cultists. Do I see the serpent up in the ceiling, or do I notice what's up there at all?
No, because 3 of you are on the stairs currently. I believe...
How far would it be for me to go up the stairs and into the room?
Into the room, you're about 20 feet away from the
Okay.
where the stairs go up into the floor of the room.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm just see. We had a short rest after we fought the imps, didn't we? If I remember rightly. Yes, I'm fired up. Right, cool. I am going to take my I'm going to cast Armor of Agathis on myself as an action. No, I'm not. I'm going to summon my blade as an action, because I'll probably need that. So I'll summon my pack blade as an action, and I will use my movement to run 10 feet into the room. And then as a bonus action, can I see the serpent up in the rafters?
You can indeed see the serpent up in the rafters. It's about 6 feet long.
What has it got? Wings? Does it appear to have a means of
Yes,
flying?
it is a green snake with feathered wings, and the feathered wings have a like rainbow-esque colouring to them. Darker colours at the ridge of the wings, and then they fade out towards the tips of the feathers.
Cool. Sorry, I'm not very prepared on this one. I wasn't expecting to be straight into it. It's gonna be 32. Okay, cool.
So when we ended with roll initiative last week, you didn't think we'd be straight into it.
I will hex the cultist closest to me. That's my bonus section. And that's me done. Blade out, shield out, and hex cast.
So after Mr. Rozak, it is Flabbergast, and Abraxas, you are after Flabbergast.
Cool.
So it's on you, Flabbergast.
And he disconnected.
No, it's not.
I guess holds his action until the end of the round. Mild technical error.
Right, so I am going to. That. So I am going to. How far above me is it, AD?
The serpent is about 10 feet from you in the rafters.
I'm going to move, so I've got roughly all of the bad guys as close as I can within 15 feet, and then I'm going to Thunder Wave as a level 2 spell.
Am I danger close?
You'll be fine.
Things said seconds before disaster.
Basically, Constitution saving throw DC 14, please.
That's a 20. That's a 20. And yes, notes everywhere.
Does that include me?
80. So is the serpent the only thing I can get in it in a 15-foot cube?
If you are shooting it, yeah.
Ah, okay. All right. So I think it takes half damage, so 1 sec.
No worries.
So 7 damage, mate.
Noted. Anything else?
No, I think I'm going to save my reaction and all that for... Actually, I'm going to use the rest of my move to get further back out of the way.
Cool. Abraxas, you are up. It will then be the cultists, and then it will be Venbear.
Cool. Abraxas is just going to come up to the top of the stairs after seeing everyone suddenly rush upstairs. Upon seeing the scene before him, a lot of the runes on his body begin to glow a very dark, almost angry red. After hearing the massive boom of thunder as well, he probably just takes the dodge action, because I don't think I can get into combat given how far I had to walk. I'll take the dodge action and just end at the top of the stairs, surveying the scene.
Lovely jubbly. Right, the three cultists will turn and see Flabbergast and Rozag in the room, and then they will see the large form of Abraxas just entering the room. The hexed cultist will turn to Rozag, reach out his hand, and the same sort of magic that you use yourself, Rozag, you feel it cling to your soul as a hex is upon you. Say again?
Try again, Rob. You gibbered.
Yeah, you have been hexed, Rob, but your audio is, for some reason, almost non-existent.
Is that better?
That is a million times better.
Yeah, sorry, it's I've been trying a noise gate. I'll turn it off.
Right, cool. So yeah, so you are now currently hexed by the one that hexed you.
Okay.
It will then reach back its hand and launch out an Eldritch Blast. And on a natural one, it's very unlikely to hit you. The cultist that was in the middle, that was leading the little effect, ritually type thing on the body of the warforged, turns, says something infernal to the serpent above it, and then points at Flabbergast. And then it holds its action.
Hey.
Cultist number 3 will take out, it's already got a dagger in its hand, it will come running at Rozag and attempt to slash at him.
Come at me.
That's a natural 20. So nat 1 to nat 20.
What's the hang on. So what's the total to hit?
Total to hit will be 24.
Oh, I think shield leaves me one short. Hang on, let me just see if my reaction can save me on this one. Shield gives me +5, which puts me to 23. God damn it!
Oh, lucky. So
I will not use shield. I will just eat it.
So the damage is 4.
I'm okay with that.
So you take 4 points of piercing as the dagger stabs into your side, and then with a bonus action.
I'm just being a bit of an idiot here. I can't see my health on D&D Beyond. Am I being an idiot?
Top right hand corner.
Yeah, it's not there, which is why I'm a little bit confused.
Yeah, then I'm just as confused as you are.
I'll find it in a minute. Carry on.
So yeah, so you are stabbed in the side. It then uses its bonus action, mutters some words in arcane, and his eyes go orange, as if they are on fire. The serpent will fly over to Flabbergast, and from its rafters spit down at you a glob of acidic saliva.
Oh.
I'm assuming an 8 does not hit your gnomish self.
It does not.
Wonderful. Vemve, it is now yourself.
Sweet. Can I make it to the doorway to see what's going on, or is everyone else in the way?
You could get to the doorway, but you'd be stood with Abraxas. As an FYI, if you wish to pass by somebody, their square counts as rough terrain.
Okay. Could I use Abraxas as cover?
The big stone man's
yeah.
always being used as cover.
You can use him as cover. I'll give you your +2 AC to half cover.
Why
Sweet.
take a shield when you can take a barbarian?
Exactly.
Sounds about right.
I'm gonna make my way up, use Abraxas as cover, take out my bow and arrow, and shoot it at a cultist. The cultist that is the biggest of the threats. The one that has control over the serpent. The one controlling the serpent, please. Does the 16 hit?
16 does indeed hit.
Okie day. So, one controlling the serpent is anyone close enough to him for me to be able to use my sneak attack. Okay. And that will be 8 points of piercing damage.
Your bolt flies out, and you were shot though. Your arrow flies out and pierces his chest. As the arrow hits and sticks into his chest, the feathers ignite. Is that your go?
Yes, and as my bonus action, I would like to hide behind the practice a little bit better.
There is nowhere for you to hide on this set of stairs other than Abraxas in front of you, so you'd still be visible unless you could roll high, and I'll see if you can silhouette yourself against Abraxas' form.
just roll high.
I don't think I'm going to be able to roll high. Yeah, no, that was a 2.
Cool. So you try to sort of position yourself behind Abraxas, like putting your feet where his are, and just for a brief moment you think you've done it, and then you realise he moves his arms in getting ready for combat, and just leaves you exposed.
Cool.
You still have him as cover though.
Cool, thank you.
Rozak, we're back round to you.
Alright. So, I am going to... This is one still right next to me, isn't he? He's like in my face.
There's one in combat with you, but it's not the one that you're next.
It's not, is it? Okay, I'm going to... I'm going to use Goblin shenanigans. I'm going to use Nimble Escape to use my bonus action to disengage, and then I'm going to run and dive and try and stab the hexed one in the face.
Cool. The hex one is the one controlling the serpent, so in you go.
Works for me. Yeah, I'm just going to dive over there and try and knife him. I'll use Booming Blade on this. That's 9 plus 2, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 to hit.
Your dark-bladed longsword slashes down towards the cultist, and for whatever reason, just seems to... He doesn't move, but it misses.
Okay. That's the end of my turn.
Cool. Flabbergast, you are up. Abraxas, you are up next.
Okay, so seeing as it's one of the individuals controlling the serpent, I am going to focus on him. Can he make me a wisdom DC 14?
That is a fail with a 13.
Ooh.
Amazing.
Did you say your DC were 14?
Right, yeah.
difficult, then yes, it's a fail.
So he takes 4 points of psychic damage and has disadvantage on his until the end of his next turn on attack rolls.
What did you cast at him?
Vicious Mockery. I'm going to tell him that he's clearly rubbish because he's got to have a serpent do his fighting for him, and he should go home and reconsider his life choice.
Oh, wow, hurtful. Vicious and mocking. Okay, right, Abraxas, you're up. Unless you're doing anything else, Flabbergast.
No, that's it.
Abraxas, you are up.
Just a quick one, DM. My weapon attack is classed as magical. Don't know if that makes any difference to shieldy goodness.
Yes, it was thematic. You missed.
Okay. I don't know if it just prevented physical.
Abraxas, you're up, but
Cool. Abraxas. So, first of all, do I recognise much of what's going on in this room, other than what we'll loosely deem the obvious?
so
Yeah, I'm being stabbed in the face.
you. Steve, did you just leave and join?
No, he turned his camera on.
Right, so I need you to pick one. Either leave it on or leave it off, because every time you switch, it switches the overlay. So I'm just going to rearrange us again. So stand by, viewers.
If you listen right in the background there, you can hear the disdain.
I said, I'm sorry, I shall leave it on. But obviously, I forgot to press talk.
Of course, we're good at this, aren't we?
Damn right.
Right, there we go. Right, we're back.
We're back.
So, Abraxas, what you recognise that's going on here, as before, I believe you had a little moment of a flashback, correct?
Indeed.
So it does, other than your flashback that you had last week, where you had images of a similar thing around yourself, you can, there's nothing else jumping out that's glaringly obvious.
Okay, interesting. So we've got 2 cultists engaged, the other one controlling the serpent, and the serpent itself.
You now have 1 cultist engaged because number 2 was engaged with Rozag, but Rozag disengaged and then dived on the lead cultist. So 2 are free roaming. The serpent is above Flabbergast, and the main cultist is currently engaged with Rozag.
Okay. I will not use my last rage just yet. I have a feeling I might need it later. Run towards the closest unengaged cultist and recklessly attack it, which means I get advantage to attack it. Any attacks coming at me that are melee also gain advantage.
Good lad.
Lovely jubbly. You charge into cultist number 2 that had attacked Rozag, and you swing away.
24.
Just, yeah, that definitely is.
Just got it.
Wow.
With 9 points of slashing damage and 8 points of radiant.
Well, Jesus. Is that your lovely turn?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you
it
do
looks like
radiant
Brax-
damage every strike?
Only on the first attack.
Okay,
each
okay.
turn.
Only on the first
Abraxas-
attack each turn, so yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, in future levels when we get 2 attacks a turn, as far as I can read it, because it's in Xanathar's, it seems to just be once per turn, so I think it's just on the first attack if it hits.
Oh, I suppose it'd be up to yourself. Anyway, we'll get to that when
Yeah,
you're
I'll
level
double check
5 and
the
up. So,
Years.
Is that you done now with
Abraxas does seem a lot more. Yeah, well, Abraxas seems a lot less focused than he normally would be. Seems to be a lot angrier.
Without the rage, that's nice to see.
More reckless, more reckless. There you go.
Whee. So after Abraxas, the cultist number 1 will defend himself against Rozag and step back 5 feet, giving Rozag his attack of opportunity and the booming blade effect.
A boom blade didn't land. So
yeah, because you thematically
I have
missed.
to actually land. I have to land the attack.
So your attack of opportunity, do you wish to take it?
Yes, I do. That is a 13. No, sorry, 14.
As he steps back, you lash out with your longsword, and unfortunately, you just miss.
Nailed it.
And in return, you receive an Eldritch Blast. 2 globes of green arcane energy appear in the cultist's hand and fire out at you at the same time. The first one is a nat 20.
Oh no.
The second one is a 10.
It's a good thing I didn't really like this character. I wanted to roll a new one, right? What's the total to hit with a nat 20?
25.
God damn it. I've already used my reaction as well on
and the shield's a reaction.
Opportunity. Yeah, I've already used attack of opportunity.
AD.
Yep.
Do cutting words.
That's your reaction.
Oh, I love this gnome.
So go on then. Roll your dice and tell me how much you reduce it by.
Yep. Roll the dice. Track number.
It's not a crit, at least.
That'll be 4 on my D4. Go me.
Good lad.
So 21. Rozag, does that still hit you?
Yeah, I can't shield. I can't use another reaction, so yeah, it hits me.
Cool. So he's negated the crit, and you take. So if you negate the crit, the second Eldritch Blast missed. The first Eldritch Blast hit. What did I just roll? You take 12 points of force damage.
I will nod to Flabbergast for the assist.
You take 12 points of force damage, Rozag.
Okay.
Cultist number 2, engage with Abraxas, will cast
No.
Charm Person at you, Mr.
Say again.
Charm Person. I was pushing the wrong push to talk button. So, you must make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Will do. Oh no, not wisdom.
So what did you get?
A 9.
Cool. You are currently charmed.
I should have raged.
So, during your charming, you can't attack the charmer or target the charmer with any harmful abilities or magical effects, and the charmer has advantage on any ability check to interact socially with you. Yep. This does not mean you are completely dominated and must do as they say. It just means they're on your side.
Okay.
And that will be his go. Or her go, sorry. Cultist number 2. Cultist number 3 will cast Fairy Fire on Venver.
That's just ruined my. That's just ruined the plan.
So 2 seconds.
Game faces on kids. Think we're about to take a supreme kick in.
I've lost the spell.
Where'd you leave it?
I found the spell. So, 20-foot cube within range is outlined in blue and green. So, can I have Flabbergast, Abraxas, and Venvir do a... Is it not a dex save? A dexterity saving throw, please.
I rolled a 19.
You managed to avoid getting this strange, glowing, multicoloured, almost ember-like, from a campfire, rainbow embers falling upon you. They just seem to miss you as you sort of just tap yourself and get out of the way of them. Venver and Flabbergast, what did you get?
17.
I got 14.
Cool. Using Abraxas as a shield, you two missed the Fairy Fire, and Flabbergast being the... Did you roll... Oh no, it's dexterity. Flabbergast, you too are unfairy fired as you hit the DC banner.
Yay!
Woo, danger sense for barbarians as you.
It is now the serpent's go. It will beat its rainbow feathered wings, and a powerful gust of wind will come into the room. You see the robes of the three cultists below, and they sort of ready themselves and sort of do a bit of a small squat. I have 2 seconds. And a powerful gust of wind hits the room. Can I have Rozag, Flabbergast, Abraxas, and Venver all do a strength saving throw?
Ooh, that's better. Oh, but -1. God damn it. 15.
15 for Rozag.
I am not a strong goblin.
5.
5 for Venver.
16 for me.
16 on Flabbergast.
Did you say for myself as well?
Yes, all of you, mate.
Ugh, 10.
So, Flabbergast and Rozag, you are able to withstand the powerful gusts of wind, whereas Abraxas and Venver, you all hit the deck prone.
Picked it up.
How is it the two midgets managed to stand against that?
Because what they don't understand, Flabbergast, is that gnomes and goblins are the superior faction, and everyone just aspires to be us.
It's just because you've got a lower center of gravity. That's why.
Yeah.
I see.
So now science is out the way. Venver and
take a
Abraxas, you are
fence
currently
up,
prone. And that is the
Sorry,
serpent's
did you
go.
wanna go?
Rozag, we are back round to yourself.
Cool. That guy disengaged only 5 feet away from me, so I'm currently not got
Wait,
anyone
did I
attached to me.
not get my go? Thank you. Can I fire my bow at the serpent thing in the air, please? I really do not. That is a 9.
You got a 9?
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately, your arrow goes whizzing past and hits the ceiling above.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought so.
I'll just sit here and talk to her.
Now it is Rozag's go.
Okay. Rozag is going to cast Armor of Agathis on himself. So it's big swirl of protective magical force, this big spiral of energy, like a spectral mist covers me and my equipment. And that envelops me. I will then use my bonus action to apply Hexblade Curse on the same cultist that I hexed. I will then move into melee combat or move up into base-to-base contact with him.
Why did it not have the original hex?
They're both the separate spells. Hexblade's Curse and Hex are two separate effects.
Okay, my bad. Alright, cool. So is that your go?
It is, yep. And I'll move into base-to-base contact with him. I'll run up to him.
Coolios. Flabbergas, you're up.
Yeah. Stride towards the nearest one and stab him with my rapier.
Ooh,
So
I need
that'll
to.
be a 18 to hit and doing 8 damage. And there's a bonus action. I'm going to stab him with my dagger.
80 is a no. I just made a concentration check for Hex. It's fine.
Cool. Remember to not add your ability score to your second attack, Flabbergast. Only your proficiency.
Yeah, so that will be 11 to hit.
So as you pierce with your rapier and come back out and swing round with your dagger, the cultist is just reeling in pain from the rapier, and that just causes you to miss. You got anything else in the tank?
No, that's it.
Abraxas, you are currently prone.
We'll get up with a bit of a weary grunt. It's a bit injured as Abraxas at the moment. Take a quick scan of the room, kind of like looking at the cultist that charmed it with the same eyes as everyone else, and then go running off away from it towards the one controlling the serpent. And I will recklessly attack that one as well, still saving my rage.
You are currently. The charm lasts for 1 hour, by the way.
Oof, okay. Well, the serpent caller, I rolled a 14 to hit on.
Your mighty weapon slashes overhead of the cultist, just clipping the hood, but not actually enough to damage.
Oof. Okay. Rob is giving us a good show of his desktop.
Yeah, no, sorry. Sorry, something on my phone. Just give me a
He's
second.
just doing his hair. Anything else, Abraxas?
No, that'll be it.
Coolios. We are now on to the lovely cultists.
Sorry about that.
Rozag, you will receive...
Is he hitting me in melee?
Yes.
He takes 10 points of cold damage from my armor.
If he hits or just by attacking?
If he hits, sorry, my mistake.
Cool. So he will summon... He will stab out with his curved dagger.
Okay.
And gets a 17.
That hit, that meets... Oh no, I'm AC 18.
Cool. So his dagger slashes out across your face. You just sort of lean back. And as the blade comes past you, you can smell sulphur.
Okay.
And then, that's his go. Cultist number 2, she will maintain her charm on old Abraxas. And then Eldritch Blast Venver with a 19.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So you will take... You take 10 points of force damage.
Oh, shit. Okay. Thank
Ow.
She is only about 10 feet from you. But yeah, so from almost point blank range, the green energy that summons in the palm of her hand just flies out at you with the impact of a horse. The other cultist, who is running around like a lunatic, will reach into their pouch and attempt to cast Fairy Fire again. So, can Rozag, Flabbergast and Abraxas now do dexterity saves?
Oh, I'm so glad I'm a barbarian and get advantage.
Tell me about it. Dex 20, not natural.
18.
Abraxas and Rozag are fine. Just the Flabbergast?
Yeah, 18. Not.
Cool, so all three of you avoid the fairy dust that these rainbow embers scatter in the sky. Well, the air. The serpent will now drop from the air and attempt to wrap itself around Flabbergast.
Oh, no.
And it will try to grapple you. Flabbergast, can you give me an athletics check?
Athletics, you say?
Yes.
Can I not be acrobatic and jump out of the way backwards?
You can
that'd be
try after your athletics check.
This gnome with like blaring on bagpipes doing a backflip as he does it.
So what did you get?
I got 20.
20, cool. I got 10. So, the serpent drops down and tries to wrap itself around you, but fails in doing so. This 6-foot serpent is now sort of hovering in this area in front of you, and you can see these two long fangs. Its tongue is just spitting out, and its eyes have a milky blind colouring to them. You know, the milky blind spot in the eyes.
Yeah.
And it is, yes, ready to feast upon you. Rozag.
Yeah. I am going to attempt to stab this cultist again in the middle of the face.
Go for it.
I am going to drop my shield, sling my shield onto my back and grab my sword with both hands and booming blade strike with my long sword. Come on. That's cocked. Oh, that's good. That is a 22 to hit.
You definitely
23
hit.
to hit, sorry.
Yep, still up there.
Sorry. Sorry, there's a lot of different things on this one. Give me 2 seconds. So the sword itself, long sword with 2 hands, goes to 1d10. That's 5 plus my charisma is 2, 6, 7. That's 8 points of slashing damage. Plus 6 points of necrotic damage from Hex. Plus 2 from Hexblade's Curse. And it's affected by a booming blade as this dark lightning kind of entangles round it and ensnares it.
Cool. He did not like that. So
I'll use Fury of the Small.
Is that once per day?
It is once per short rest.
Oh, cool. So you have it back.
So I'll do an extra 3 damage because small man syndrome.
You have some more food?
So as you pump half the rulebook into this cultist, he blood starts pouring from wounds on his chest, and then the hex is just taking hold of his soul. He's spewing up blood now, some sort of internal bleeding. There's blood coming out of his left ear. He looks in a very blooded sort of way. Right, Flabbergast, your turn.
Yeah, from where I am, can I move myself around to get in a position so I'm flanking with Rozag on this dude?
You can, but you would leave combat with the serpent, therefore provoking an attack of opportunity.
Oh, sorry, Eddie. Can I use my bonus action to just disengage and take 10 feet back?
You can, and therefore the answer now, Flabbergast, is no.
Sorry, Steve, you reminded me to get out of the way. My bad.
Quite excited that you hadn't got out of the way, so I was like, yeah.
I'm not healthy enough to be standing next to anything. I'm getting out dodge.
Okay, in which case I am going to just stab the serpent with my rapier and then with my dagger. So my rapier, I got 12 to hit.
12 on the serpent. Your rapier sort of bends as you hit one of the scales square on, but doesn't pierce the flesh.
Okay, and then I'll attack with my and with my dagger, I got a 6, so that was even worse.
So cool, as your rapier and dagger fly in your flurry of gnomish attacks, you just don't find purchase enough to go beyond the scales. Cool, so you are now stood with a couple of cultists and a serpent right next to you, and everyone else is miles away. Oh, you've got Abraxas there, so that's good. Abraxas, it is your go. You're currently charmed.
Hey, he's charming. Yep, no, just recklessly attack the serpent caller again, because I can.
The serpent caller, yeah?
Yes, please, yeah.
Cool, swing away.
Good thing I had advantage, because that was a nat 1. I rolled a 22.
Your 22 does indeed hit the serpent caller.
And only 7 points of slashing damage, and then 6 points of radiant.
Your blade, as you thrust out, sinks through the serpent caller's chest, and you feel a cracking of ribs and such as your blade just easily goes through them and pushes out the other side. The light in the cultist's eyes dies, as does he.
Sweet. That procs my that triggers my hex, so I heal up by 5 hit points.
Cool. And on
That's
that,
like the other half of the rulebook you haven't used.
on that, the do you get to move your curse as well, Rozag?
I have to use it in action on my turn.
Okay,
To do
okay,
that.
cool. As the serpent caller dies, the milky white blindness of the serpent disappears, and you see fury and rage in that serpent's eyes, Flabbergast, as it hisses loudly.
Oh,
Everyone for themselves. Abraxas,
I'm gonna die.
is that your go?
Yeah, that'll be me. I have no... Well, actually, so the serpent's still there, even though this thing's dead.
Yeah, but it is no longer controlled by a cultist. It is now a wild, lunatic, flying serpent.
So it's at this moment Abraxas realised they fucked up. Pardon me, language.
By any chance did Abraxas think it was summoned and linked to the serpent caller?
It might well have done. Abraxas is gonna probably look down at like the bloody greatsword and the dying / dead cultist and look up at the serpent and probably go, oh, that'll probably be me.
So, now on to the cultist's turn. The one that charmed you, Abraxas, actually shouts, "You fool! What have you done?" Run. And that cultist will try to shove Venver, off the staircase to fall the 60 odd feet to make its escape down the stairs.
Oh no.
It rolled a 8. So is... Oh no! Venver, can you hear us?
Sorry.
So the cultist that charmed Abraxas has just tried to shoulder you off that staircase so you would plummet 60 feet. But as it tried to push you out of the way, you managed to steady yourself and not to get pushed. But it is the cultist, she is clearly in a panic and trying to get past you after shouting, "What have you done to Abraxas for killing the serpent caller?"
Sorry, me.
Yes, she tried to push you out of there, but failed.
Good try, because I'm still prone.
Oh dear.
In that case, is your AC 16?
14, because I lost my half cover when Abraxas moved.
Cool. So as you are on the floor, she sort of runs over and tries to shove you out of the way. As you weren't in the room because you were behind Abraxas, you fall. She pushes you off, and beneath you is a 60 to 80 foot drop. Give me a dexterity save. Give me an acrobatics check.
Okay. A 19?
Cool. So as she just shoves you out of the way, you roll off and grab onto the lip of the stone staircase. Beneath you is an 80-foot drop, but you are now clinging onto that stone stairways. And she bolts her full... Well, she bolts 30 feet because she used her action to push you out of the way. Cultist number 3. They can't quite get past you lot because there is a gnome, a wild serpent, a goblin, and a 95-foot warforged barbarian.
Just add 5 foot on.
yeah.
Many things.
So they will, in absolute fear, throw an eldritch blast at Abraxas.
Oh no.
Which is with advantage because you're reckless.
I'm just going to double check. I think it's only for melee attacks.
I thought it was attacks. Anyway, you let me know.
Reckless attack. Just attack rolls against. So yeah, fair. It does have advantage.
Yeah, I think it's the whole idea of you are just swinging wildly, so can't see any attack. So Eldritch Blast, at advantage. $19 was the higher roll.
Yep, that'll get me.
You take 2 points of force damage as an Eldritch Blast smashes into you. And then as a bonus action, Cultist number 3 will take out a purple liquid potion bottle and down it. And you see a shimmering of purplish light cover the cultist. It is now the serpent's go.
After the shop for bread, do you want to?
Sorry for that. It's the serpent.
Yep.
Will now, in front of Flabbergast. It will recklessly attack Flabbergast.
Ow.
And rolled a 4 and a 2. So as its raging fangs come at you, it is just snapping at you, but you're keeping well out of the way, Flabbergast, using your height and advantage for this 6-foot snake serpent creature. But you can see that it has no accuracy in its attacks. It is just going mental.
Okay.
It is now Venvar's go, sorry.
would like to pull myself up off of this stone ledge, please.
Pulling yourself up will be your movement. So, well, it'll be half your movement to pull yourself up.
Okay, because the only other thing that I can do is drop, and I'd rather not.
Seems fair.
I'm guessing that's a strength check, correct?
No. You're not hindered by anything. So you are simply just climbing up. So it'll cost you half your movement to pull yourself up, but you don't have to do a check. If you was under attack whilst climbing, then I would make you do a check.
Okay, cool, no problem. How far is the cultist that's running down the stairs now?
From you, they are 20 feet down the stairs.
Can I use my other 15 feet to chase after them?
You can indeed. You are now in melee with a cultist on a single file wide staircase.
Can I pull out my short sword and dagger in my hand and jump to stab them?
Do you actually want to jump?
Jump at them. If they're only 5 feet, I would like to kind of launch.
So by 5 feet, I mean they are in the square right next to you. So they're in combat.
Oh,
yes.
Sweet, yeah.
Yeah, there's not a further
Cool,
5 feet. Yeah.
I want to read that.
So short sword first as your action.
Does a 17 hit?
A 17 does indeed.
And that's 8 points of piercing damage, please.
And your dagger. Remember not to add your ability score, only add your proficiency to the attack.
I'm aware. I'm guessing a 14 doesn't hit.
A what, sorry?
14?
14, unfortunately, your dagger hits the stone walls. A note to whoever's typing, mute yourself.
Yeah, Rob.
Sorry, D&D mum.
So your short sword slashes in, and you see crimson spray come out as you slash with your short sword, and then you swing round with your dagger, but you maintain focus on keeping your balance rather than stabbing, and just let your dagger hit the stone wall as you miss overhead.
Sweet, no problems.
We are now back round to Rozag.
Okay, how far away? There's still 2 cultists and the serpent, is that right?
There is a cultist running down the stairs, which you can't even see, and you can't see Venvar either. The last thing you saw of Venvar was rolling off the stairs.
Then run down the stairs. Okay, fine.
And there is cultist in front of you that has a weird purple light, and there is a mad serpent and a mad Abraxas.
Okay, is the serpent in the air or is it down by the ground at the moment?
It is considered on the ground.
Cool. I will use my bonus action to move my hex onto the serpent.
Coolios.
And I will run and swing my sword at the serpent, two-hander.
Swing away.
Is anyone else engaged with it?
Yes, Flabbergast.
Can I run
currently
to the
Flabbergast.
back of the? Can I run on the other side of the serpent before I swing?
You can indeed do what Flabbergast tried to do before you abandoned him.
Yes. Would that be considered an advantage?
Yes.
That is a 21 to hit.
Your blade is true.
Okay. That's 8 points of slashing damage. 1 point of necrotic damage. And the creature is engulfed in energy.
Enlightening. So,
Enlightening.
your dark-bladed sword slashes into the serpent. Scales fly off. There is a strange hissing screech from its mouth as it does not like being hit by a sword.
Good.
It's now over to you, Flabbergast.
Hexed as well. I'll have it have disadvantage on Dex
On
ability checks as well.
on Dex, cool.
Okay, I am going to try and hit it. Do I have advantage? Does it recklessly attack me?
Yes, and because Rozag is on the other side of it as well. But you only get the advantage once.
Amazing.
But
You
yes.
only get the
advantage once. But you were correct on the reckless as well.
Correct on.
So 20 to hit with my rapier.
That hits.
And I'm just going to roll my dagger. My dagger, however, misses.
I can't hear you, mate.
That is a grand total of 5 points of damage.
Your rapier, this time you managed to miss one of the scales and just go between where they go flush to each other. Foregoing your dagger, you concentrate more on your rapier strike. Is that your turn, Flabbergast?
Yeah, that's pretty much me done.
Abraxas, your bestest mate in the whole wide world, she has fled the room, telling you to run. Venver has disappeared. And your two other compadres are hitting a serpent.
Oh, I will lower the greatsword and put it back in its sheath. Take one of the many javelins on my back and throw it up at the serpent. Since I
The
is
serpent
it-
is currently on the ground and is about 10 feet from you.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was still flapping about.
No, it came. That's what Rozag got last turn as well. It's come down to face Flabbergast rather than flap around.
Okay, in
Okay.
that case, keep the blade out and just go. Now I will use my rage. Now that this looks like a bigger thing to fight, the crimson runes go bright yellow, and I will lunge into an attack, and I will do it recklessly.
Go on then, sir.
I got a natural 20.
Ooh.
Shame you ain't got the big
So-
brutal crits yet.
23 points of slashing damage and 13 points of radiant.
Jesus. What's that? 36. 50. That was devastating. You
Boom!
you're cut into this thick serpent-like body. You cut straight down its centre, and for a moment you think it's just going to peel open. There is blood just gushing from it onto the floor. It's reeling around in agony. You do notice that some of your initial damage from your blade almost hits thicker muscle before carrying on, but your holy damage, your radiant damage, just burns through a lot of that woundage.
Awesome.
And can you give me a wisdom save at disadvantage?
Ooh, I rolled a 7.
Cool. You will use the rest of your movement to follow your friend.
Where the hell are you going, Abraxas?
It doesn't respond, it just goes to leave. After landing that devastating hit.
It's almost like you've gone, oh no. And then realised that you and your pal have got a taxi waiting downstairs, so you bolt after them. But you only make it to like the top of the stairway, and you can see in front of you now Venver stabbing the crap out of the cultist that charmed you.
La gasp!
It is now the cultist's turn. Cultist number 3 will now use its action to cast the spell that the potion it drank allowed them to do, and cast Dimension Door.
God damn it.
And that cultist disappears. Thoof. A purplish portal appears behind them, and they just fall into it, full on gone. The serpent, now having a goblin and a gnome stabbing the crap out of it, and then an enormous warforged creature nearly cutting it in half, will use its action and bonus action, full action, etc. to spin on the spot. Its feathers, the rainbow colouring on the feathers, will glow white hot, and it will do a somewhat of a whirlwind attack on the pair of you. Can you both give me dexterity saves, please?
15.
Cool. Flabbergast?
12.
So, as these white hot feathers, wings, slash out at you, you both try to get out of the way, but realise there's not much. You almost run into each other. Rozag, you just missed, succeeded, and the white hot feathers slam into you both, doing.
Ugh.
So of 2d8, I rolled double ones.
That'll do for me, mate. That'll do.
You mother kippers take 2 points of radiant damage.
Oh god, it burns. It burns. Make it stop. That could have been really horrible, actually.
I was waiting for the die. So after that, Venvar.
I've got a bit of temp hit points from the armor, so I'm not.
Does it take damage off the armor that you're
No, so armor of Agathis, it doesn't give me any armor. It gives me a cold aura. Oh, does that class as melee attacking me with that ability?
Yeah, it's attack 2 in melee.
That's 10 cold damage then done to it. Yeah, the armor gives me a cold retribution basically and temp armor, temp health. Sorry.
Yeah, I know what it gave you. I just didn't know how I triggered it, other than hitting you. But I didn't know if there was a specific amount or etc. Anyway, see as the radiant wings spin round and slash into you, the ice armor that encased around. Is it ice?
Yes.
Just almost like a frag grenade of ice shards flies from you and smashes into the serpent.
Excellent.
Again, it does not like that, and it focuses now when it stops spinning on you.
Excellent.
Venver, you are currently in a bit of a scrap on this very narrow staircase with the lady cultist.
Yep. Right. I would like to take. I'm gonna keep my short sword, and my dagger in my offhand, and I'm gonna try and stab again.
Stab away.
With my short sword.
We can't see this at the moment, can we? This is like down the stairs.
The only one that can see this is Abraxas.
Okay.
Does a 15 hit?
A 15 just hits.
Yes. Okay, cool. And that's 4 points of piercing, please.
And your dagger?
That is a natural 20, so that's a 25. Does that hit?
Yeah.
No.
And then for my damage, that is 6 points of piercing.
Both your blades sink hilt deep into the cultist, and as you pull them out, more crimson goes everywhere. Oh, I didn't actually do their go, did I? I didn't actually do her go. Yeah, we'll let you have that. She will now take. She will now take her go and use her. Oh, she's just going to bolt. She'll shout to Abraxas, help, help, she's trying to kill me. And then we'll run from you, so you get your attack of opportunity, Venver, if you want to.
Yes, please.
Cool. So it's your short sword.
Did an 18 hit?
An 18 does indeed hit.
Hell yeah.
Do it.
And that's 8 points of piercing damage, please.
So as they shout for help off Abraxas and she sets off running, you slash across her back, cutting through her robes, and you see more blood. She will then buggy 30 feet of movement and use her action to dash. So she's moved 60
How
feet.
the hell is this bitch still alive?
Thank you.
Because she was untouched until you got out of her. She's now 60 feet away from you and is now at the bottom of the tower stairs.
Can I use my movement to at least run 30 feet after?
You can now, yeah. So you move 30 feet after her. So you've done your attacks and you're now 30 feet after her. So you're now 30 feet away.
Oh, wait. I can actually take my cunning action and also dash.
You
Can I
can, but
do
not
that
when
for
you've
bonus
used your
action?
bonus action to stab with your dagger already. So
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that. Cool. Thanks.
cool. To be fair, if I'd have got the turn order right, you might have forgoed that to chase after her. But hey ho. So it is now back round to Rozak.
Rozak is going to continue trying to beat the hell out of this goddamn flying noodle. I am going to rinse and repeat. Is Flabbergast still next to me? I'm still in. You are, aren't you, Flabbergast?
Yes.
Sweet. I will continue to dual-handing sword, and I'm going to just basically swing it while laughing maniacally, as only a goblin can.
Obviously.
Just 21 to hit.
That does indeed hit.
Wunderbar. That is 11 points of slashing damage, 1 point of necrotic damage. And the lightning re-envelops the creature.
Cool. You see this cackling lightning flabbergast encase like a net around the serpent. You can see that your blows are...
Rozak is just laughing like a maniac, just swinging this sword around, just...
You can see that your blows are landing true, but not cutting as much as you'd hope. But your
Magical
necrotic,
sword.
That is lovely. Your necrotic damage and etc. is doing its full effect though.
Okay. That's the... I'm going to use my bonus action... No, I'm not. I'll lose the disadvantage, or I'll probably guess will lose disadvantage. I will stay where I am. I'll just carry on.
Cool. Flabbergast, it is yourself, Abraxas. You are charmingly up next.
Okay, I am going to pull out my pipe and start playing a calming thing. Because, yeah, it's a massive snake. I've seen snake charmers. So I'm going to try and charm it whilst doing vicious mockery. Because, yeah, it's only a little snake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that
So can it make me a wisdom saving throw DC 14, please?
21?
Apparently it's not a little snake. It doesn't like vicious mockery. Okay.
Get wrecked.
I'm
That's funny.
So is that an action or a bonus action?
that is an action. Whilst I think about it, what I will do as a bonus action is I will cast Healing Word on Rozak.
Ooh, thank you very much, Flabbergast. I won't notice. I'll still be making, maniacally swinging a sword around like a lunatic, but... how much is that, please?
So you get, hang on, 7 points of hit points back.
Thank you very much.
And that is the end of my...
Lovely. Abraxas, your best friend is getting absolutely stabbed up by someone you've only known a while.
Yeah.
I
Abraxas
will say Venvar is 40 feet from you, so you wouldn't be able to make it
Oh.
to her in a single move action.
What he can do is, as he's moving, put the sword away, pull out a hand axe, and just throw it at Venver.
That will also
I
do
knew
it.
this was going to happen.
So Abraxas, you
Knew
move in
it.
your full 30 feet.
Yeah, I'll move 30 feet and throw the axe.
Cool.
10.
So you are now 10 feet from Venver. And Venver, you just see over your shoulder your recent addition to your lovely crew, the mighty warforged Abraxas. He has a hand axe in his hand, and you think, yes, he's gonna kill her with a hand axe.
I mean, he's not very good shot, so don't be too worried. Okay, yeah, he rolled a nat 1.
Yes.
Wait, is that good or bad?
So you see him throw the hand axe, and the hand axe comes hurtling towards your face, Venver. And you just move out of the way, and it hits the stone walling.
Cool.
I mean, it could either be a really bad shot or a really bad shot. I'll let you decide.
Or was it deliberately missing shifty eyes?
You can't make shifty eyes, warforged.
I could dream.
So
No, I can't.
it is now the serpent and cultist turn. I will now do it in the correct turn order. She will first run another 30 feet, making her out of the... she'll get to the doorway, sorry, of the tower that you guys came into. So she's at the doorway. And she will... I tell a lie, it's 60 feet across. So she will use her action and movement to get to the doorway. So she is now at that door, about to disappear. Currently where she is near the alcove, it would class as cover. So if you were to shoot at her, her AC is increased by 2. But that is her go. The Dimension Door cultist, you have no idea. And the serpent, not liking Mr. Maniacal Goblin, will try to bite you twice in the face. Recklessly. Double 4 on the first attack. What is that? And a 18 on the 18 on the second attack. Can't hear you, mate.
So if it meets it, it beats it. That's a hit.
Cool. So the first bite, it snaps out at you.
Oh no, wait. Shit, I ain't got my shield out. Yeah, that really hits me.
Oh yeah, because you're swinging two-handed, aren't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, so the
exhausted.
first bite smashes out at you, and you just hit the face away with the flat of your blade. But then it strikes back round and sinks both teeth into your fleshy face.
Ah!
And you take... You take 7 points of piercing damage. And can you give me a constitution save, please?
Yep. Oh, that's my temp health gone. Ugh. Con save, yeah?
Yes, please.
It's cocked. Fucking too many dice. That's a 11.
11. So you are now poisoned. And you take...
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
He's probably shouting at a child.
Can you hear me now?
Am I that child?
Yes. I don't know how you guessed, but...
Can you hear me now?
I can, yeah.
Yeah, so you are poisoned, but the poison damage you take is radiant, and you take 8 points of radiant damage as you feel this holy burning fire rushing through your veins, and you have the poisoned status. So your attacks are at disadvantage.
Excellent. That's what we wanted.
And the serpent will remain there fighting you two. That is all the cultist scores. Venvar, you are...
the creature will take 10
cool.
points of cold damage.
How long does that last?
It lasts an hour.
And it's
And
10
it's
points
not
of strike.
At 10 points of strike, and it's not
Jesus.
concentration. Although I need to pick concentration for Hex, though. Hex fails, so that's a nat 1.
Cool.
Hex vanishes off the creature.
So, Venvar. She is. What did I say? Oh, she's at the doorway. Sorry.
Oh no. Sorry. Scrap that cold damage. It only applies while I've got the temporary hit points, and I've lost the temporary hit points, so it no longer does the cold damage.
Right, Jesus Christ, lad. All right.
It's a new spell. I'm not used to it.
So, Venvar, what are you doing? You are 90 feet away from the cultist and 10 feet of Abraxas behind you, who, for all intents and purposes, you don't know he's attacking you. Give me an insight. Sorry, Venvar. Give me an insight check.
Give me 1 second. An 18.
Yeah, he definitely attacked you with that axe.
Sweet, because I was gonna run anyway. I run down. I dash. Actually, bonus action. I dash, so I get double movement. Correct?
You get to move your movement again. So yeah, so you can move 30 feet, then use dash to do another 30 feet. So you are now 30 feet from her. She's in the doorway.
I am gonna try and throw daggers at him, please.
So you have an action, so you can throw a dagger. So throw.
A dagger. I'm gonna throw a dagger. No, I do not. That's a 10.
So as you rush down the stairs, you're now 30 feet from her, just in the doorway. You just launch your dagger at her, and it hits the stonework about her. She sort of ducks and it clangs, and it lands on the floor. That is your turn.
Cool.
Rozag.
Yeah.
Big winged serpent.
I'll just continue laughing. I'm gonna cut its damn head off.
You have advantage.
Yep. That's a 8. Sorry, that's a 17 to hit.
17 just hits.
I love that voice.
That's 7 points of slashing damage.
There are scales, bits of flesh, blood all pouring out of this snake. The only thing that seems to be keeping it alive is its anger right now. Flowergast.
Yeah, I'm going to continue the theme and once more try and calm it with my wonderful bagpipe playing.
All about them bagpipes.
Indoors. In an
DC
enclosed
14
space.
Constitution saving throw. In Wisdom, not Constitution, obviously.
11.
Hurrah! It takes a grand total of 2 points of damage, but now has disadvantage on its next attack.
Cool. Do you have anything else left to do, Flowergast?
No, that's it for me.
Abraxas, 70 feet from you is Venvar, still hunting down your beloved best friend. Do we have an Abraxas?
Yes, hello. I'm still charmed, aren't I?
For the next 59 minutes and about 30 seconds.
Oh.
Or until that
Venvar
cultist is dead.
Moved 30 feet. I'm probably just going to walk after
Venvar
picking
moved
up the
60
axe on the
feet.
way. Oh, I'm gonna walk 30, picking up the axe on the way, assuming it didn't like bounce off the wall and go spiraling off into the ether.
On your nat one, mate, it definitely spiraled off.
All right, I'll grab the other hand axe off Abraxas's belt, move 30 feet, and throw another axe.
Cool. So you are now 40 feet from Venver as you attack with your throwing axe.
19.
From Venver's face, I would say that hits.
This shouldn't do a lot of damage. Oh no, it did 7 points of slashing damage. It doesn't do radiant. Radiant only does melee attacks, as far as I'm aware.
Cool. I will let
and
you
also
double check
because...
that.
Oh no.
It does make sense, I guess.
So how much damage am I taking?
Currently 7. Abraxas is just checking if his radiant applies to any attack or just melee.
While you're raging, the first creature you hit on each of your turns with a weapon attack takes extra damage equal to 1d6 plus your barbarian level.
So please roll your radiant damage.
Oh no. 8 points of radiant damage.
So you currently take 15 points of damage from a throwing axe imbued by holy, divine, furious fire to the back of the head.
Oh no.
And are now dying. So,
sorry, Hannah. This is revenge for Oberon.
And me and Flabbergast have absolutely no idea this is going on.
Not a clue.
Tasty red on red.
So, Abraxas, it is your turn. The cultist at the doorway will see the throwing axe hit Venver, will shout back to Abraxas, thank you, please don't let them get me, and then bolt into the woodlands. Movement and action dash 60 feet out.
Right, then.
Oh God! You have that my weakness.
The serpent will recklessly attack Flabbergast, which is a flat roll because of the disadvantage imposed on it by Flabbergast. 15. Sorry, 14.
That is a hit.
1 point of piercing damage. And can you give me a constitution save, please?
Yeah, 1 sec. No, I've got an 8.
You are now poisoned, and the flavour of poison damage is radiant. And you take 1 point of radiant damage. But you are also poisoned, therefore your attacks are at disadvantage.
Why couldn't I get these freaking rolls? Oh no! I'm lying dead on the stairs.
Because I didn't roll for you, Abraxas did.
Dice have
Well,
actually
that's
got
just-
sentience. They're actually believing karma.
Its second bite on Flabbergast at a flat roll. Does it get a flat roll, or is it just its next attack?
It's till the end of its turn. Oh, hang on. Actually, no, let me check. It's just on the next attack roll, so this time if it's recklessly doing it, it will have advantage.
Say that bit again, Steve. Was it its next attack or its turn?
It's next attack, so it can have advantage this time, unfortunately.
Cool. 22 was with advantage.
That is definitely a hit, mate.
4 points of piercing as it bites into you again. But you are already poisoned, so...
That.
Venver, have a death saving throw, please.
Yikes. What is it you in losing rogues, Hannah? You're racking them up at pace.
Come on, I can't hear anything.
That's a fail.
What did you get? On a 5, yep. So that's definitely a fail. So that's 1 fail for yourself.
Abraxas goes full American History X and just curb stomps her.
Full Doomslayer.
Yeah. Pulls her head off.
Rozag, it's back to you, Rozag.
Yeah! I'm just going to carry on hacking this serpent until it stops moving and stops harassing the gnome goblin combo. Two-hander, swing of the sword. Drop the dice. Two-hander, swing of the sword. Booming blade. That's a nat 20!
Well played, well played.
How do you do crits? Double the result or roll 2 dice? Oh no, you do first one max.
First damage dice is max and then do a roll.
Oh, I roll a 1 on the second one. That's sad. That's still 11. That's 14 points of slashing damage. And booming blades applied, so if it moves, it explodes.
How would you like to finish the creature?
Spin round, double and over grip, and just shink, just nail its head to the floor.
Cool, so with a little leap, and as the snake's attacking Flabbergast, you double-handed and slam the supplies into the snake's face, and your black-bladed sword pins it to the ground. As your sword sinks through its head and into the wood of the floor that you are stood upon, the serpent itself explodes into a rainbow-coloured ash. By explodes, I don't mean there's any damage. And it just, there is now a almost snowflake-esque spilling of rainbow ash everywhere. As the creature, there is no remains of the serpent. Like it's returned to its plane.
Flabbergast, should we go see what's going on downstairs? You're muted, mate. Can't hear you.
Let's see if everyone else is already.
Yeah! I was running off down the stairs. Like
and you use your...
I totally forgot that's what flabbergasted sounded like.
So, Rozag, you then shift your 25 feet to the door, which gets you to the doorway. You can see at the 80-foot drop.
Hey, goblins are full 30.
Are they? That is...
Apparently, according to... I'll double check. I'm almost certain. Yeah, they are they're naturally fast despite being dark, small creatures. My base walking speed is 30 feet.
Absolutely scandalous. Right, so you move 30 feet. Just goblin-ist, mate. I hate the little shits. You get to the doorway and a few steps down, and you can see at the bottom, the full 80 foot down, you see Venver on the floor bleeding with some sort of object in the back of her head. There's no sign of cultists or anything, and you see Abraxas about 40 feet from her, so he's off the stairs and heading.
Did you get him, Abraxas?
Heading towards, I think. He's 80 foot away, so you'd have to shout. But yeah, that's your go. Flabbergast, you've just seen the serpent evaporate. And Rozag run, obviously shouting. Shall we see what's going on?
Quick question, AD. Do I roll to see if I shake off the charm at the end of each thing?
I don't believe so. 2 seconds. No, the spell ends until you or your companions do anything harmful to it, or an hour, or if the person that cast it dies.
Oh.
So it's not a control. It's just a charm. So, but yes. So there's no compelling thingy for you to ruin Venver. That is your choice. Your best friend has
Oh,
just
yeah,
simply
yeah.
asked you not to let them get her.
Alrighty.
Flabbergast, your turn, my friend.
Yeah, so I'm going to basically start running down the stairs.
Cool, so you are 25 feet, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So you get 2 Rozag, and you are both at the top of the stairway when you've now run across the room. And you see Abraxas and Venver at the bottom, Venver on the floor with some sort of bleeding situation going on.
In which case, I'm assuming I'm more than 60 feet.
You're 80 feet minimum.
In which case, I will use my bonus action to move further.
Can you use your bonus action to move further? It's normally a rogue
Sorry,
and
bonus action, my normal action.
your normal action. Cool. So you get Rozag. I'm assuming you've let him past. Moving through his space will cost you 10 feet instead of 5. So you are now 15 feet closer. So you are 65 feet from the floor. Straight down.
65 feet away from Venvar, yeah?
Yeah. Healing word 60 by any chance?
Yeah, it is, yeah. I'm done.
So, Braxis. You can see at the top of the stairs two you've been adventuring with them, you've taken on this mission together, but they're trying to hurt your best friend, and your best friend's pretty scared. You've dealt with one issue that was hurting your best friend. Again, you're in control of your own mind, sort of. You're just under a strong, I don't want my best friend to be hurt type thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Abraxas is pretty convinced that these two, being relatively good, will try to stop and save Venver. So what Abraxas is going to do is he's going to just start walking down the stairs to get to the doorway.
You're already off the stairs.
Okay. Well, I'll walk over to Venver, reach down, sort of like put one big stone foot on her back, grab the hilt of the axe and pull it out of her back, put it back on the weapon loop, and go and pick up the other one.
Okay, that is your turn. Venver, give me a death saving throw.
A 16.
Cool.
Ooh.
You are currently 1 for 1. Rozag.
Can I see this cultist?
Nope.
What is Abraxas' current demeanour? Does he look aggressive towards us, or?
He has just retrieved the object that was sticking out of Venver's head and put it on his belt.
What's going on, Abraxas?
You're still 80 feet away from him, if not more.
I will
he's
make.
now.
Okay, I'll do a double. I'll do a full dash action. Just move 60 feet up.
Cool. Remember, going past Flabbergast, who now went in front of you, is rough terrain because you're on a single file staircase. So you are you're halfway down, easy.
Okay. Abraxas, what's going on?
It doesn't say anything as it goes to just basically fill the doorway with its frame. Although even though it looks quite damaged and fading somewhat, Abraxas is just filling up the doorway with its frame.
Okay.
Quite clearly guarding it against people leaving.
Is it obvious that he's guarding it?
Looks to be, yeah. Given how rage works, rage will begin to dissipate by now. So the yellow runes are fading back to red.
Okay, I've done everything I can do. I'll end my turn.
Flabbergast.
How high up am I currently?
65 feet from the floor.
Okay. How would it work if I ran 25/30 foot and then jump?
you'd be falling 25, 30 feet. Hang on, where are you? 65, 30, 35, 40. You'd be falling 30 feet.
Okay, I am going to do that. I'm going to try and acrobatically leap off my land roll so I don't take too much damage up to Venver and hope this works.
Do it.
TPK, TPK, TPK.
Hey, not on my watch.
Go on then, Flabbergast. So you run, do an acrobatics check as you then leap off. Once you land though, that will be your movement.
Yeah, that's fine.
Say again?
That's fine. That's why I'm doing the roll to try and land near.
So
Venver.
So what was the roll score?
My 4.
So you take, as you hit the deck, you take the full 11 points of bludgeoning damage instead of half.
Roger that. Am I next to...
You are not next to her, no. She ran like 40 feet across the floor to the ground floor to try and get that cultist and then hit the deck. So you are still about 30 feet from her. And you are... Yeah, you're not prone, that's a bit harsh. I'll prone you next time.
I thought... Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought by jumping off there, I'd be able to get to her. If not, there's absolutely no point of me jumping. Because I've just moved 5 feet and do healing word.
I had no idea why you were jumping, mate. I thought you were just going to move 5 feet.
I basically thought that if I jumped, I could combat roll, end up near her, and then do cure wounds, which is touch.
Yeah, no, so we'll retcon that. You move and then do healing word, yeah?
Brilliant. I'll do healing word. Venvar, you regain 8 hit points.
Venvar, you are still laid down on the floor, but you feel a warming light as you're coming back, like you've had a nice cup of hot cocoa. And you are on 8 hit points. You are now all out of initiative. Ish. Depending on what you do with Abraxas. And you are no longer dying, Venvar. But you are very aware that Abraxas is responsible for you needing bringing back from the brink of death.
Sweet.
What's going on down here?
Went for cultist bitch. Abraxas smacked me in the back of the head with an axe.
Abraxas?
It looks at you, but doesn't say anything.
I will try and push past Abraxas to see if I can see the cultist.
Abraxas will attempt to stop you.
How?
Just either by pushing you away or simply barring, depending on how insistent you're going to be.
I'll try and duck under his legs, get past him.
Cool. I will.
In fact, no,
need...
I won't. No, I won't. I wouldn't do that. I'd move out of the way, Abraxas. I'm not going to ask you twice.
It very clearly doesn't move.
I will make a opposed strength check to push him out of the way.
Okay then.
This is where you get taken down by a goblin.
It will be as well. You first. I got 15.
I got a 15.
Ooh.
Oh.
My strength's 18. If we want to do tie break by higher number.
That's how DnD is how he rules it.
Yeah.
So as you try to physically push past him instead of being nimble and getting past him, you sort of do the whole dad thing where you put your hand on their forehead and you hold Rorzag back a moment. What you do realise, Abraxas, is you put out there to stop Rorzag in this. It's a goblin. What is he attempting? but you then have to quickly adjust your footing as you're a little bit too square on, and Rozag does indeed nearly move you, but there is a bit of a stalemate between you both.
It's a push. It just looks down at you. The runes glowing from its various stonework, ever so slightly glowing red.
Are we in initiative order?
Ish not. If you wish to be, then it will be these.
I will take 10-foot step backwards, and I will look like I'm stepping down and conceding and turning away. And as I'm walking away, I'll be muttering under my breath. I'll just turn around and just full tilt Eldritch.
Cool, roll your attack. You are now all back in initiative.
My camera seems to have frozen. Will me resetting it screw up your UI?
It's all right. You're in a very pensive pose. I think we can get away with it for now.
Just didn't want to see my face.
If you just turn your camera off and on, it should be fine. It's if you leave the call and return that it bugs it. And do your Eldritch Blast roll when you, yeah, there you go. So on and off is fine. It's when you leave the call and join it bugs it.
Eldritch Blast hit on a what's your AC, Jamie?
What did you roll?
90.
I'm only AC 15. I'm not that tanky.
So your Eldritch Blast slams into his chest. Do the damage, and as soon as
8 points of force.
So you take the 8 points of force, Abraxas, and as soon as the Eldritch Blast hits you, the charm effect fades from your mind, and you are very aware that you were charmed.
It definitely does fade from my mind. As
now move out the way.
Moves back from the blast and collapses in a heap because you've just put him to -2 hit points. Because he's been sat on 8 for the entire fight.
Jesus Christ! So you hit him with the Eldritch Blast. It hits him. He looks down at his chest as the scorching Eldritch power singes some of his chest piece, and then he never looks back up and just falls forwards.
Flabbergast, you deal with that. I'm going to go see if we can find this cultist.
A small earthquake destroys a nation.
I will climb over Abraxas, making a point to stand on his face, and climb over him and see if I can see the cultist.
Give me. Go on, mate. Go on, Flabbergast. You go.
I'm going to try and stabilise Praxis. I got a 16 on a medicine.
As long as it's 10 and above, mate, he's stabilised.
Amazing, because I haven't got any healing.
Cool. Abraxas, you are on 0, so no longer, and stabilised, so no longer dying. Can you roll me a D4, please?
Can do. I rolled a 3.
It will take you 3 hours before you regain consciousness and 1 hit point. Rosa, give me a perception check.
Perception, that is a 14.
No sign of the cultist.
God damn it! I'll turn around, I'll head right all the way back up to the top of the tower, making a point to stand on Abraxas' face again, and head all the way back up to where we fought the cultist.
Cool, you are all out of initiative. You are Venver. Abraxas is down on the floor. And oh no, you can't have that, child. Get here. So Rozag, you're upstairs, yeah?
Yeah, I want to get up into the room and completely look everywhere, ransack the place, loot the cultists, have a look around.
Cool, so give me an investigation check. There's only one cultist up there.
It's my table, let alone my dice tray. Let me do it. That's not good. That is a 10.
Cool, so while you're doing your investigation upstairs, Venver, Flabbergast, what are you two doing?
I'm going to just keep an eye on Abraxas and make sure he doesn't die.
I'm gonna hobble upstairs, start looking through stuff, seeing if there's anything of worth, but also trying to figure out like who these cultists are.
While we're investigating, I'll chat to Venvi and just say, "So what the hell happened down there?"
While you're chatting, give an investigation check then there.
Ooh, that is a 24.
Cool. You two may finish your conversation and then I'll tell you what you found.
What the hell happened down there?
I don't know. This cultist went past me. Literally, so I was just like, right, I gotta go. I had to. She kicked me off the stairs. For God's sake, I ran down, stabbed her, and then before I knew it, Abraxas was after me, and
Well, there's no
I
question.
don't understand why.
We'll see what he says when he wakes up, I guess. If he wakes up.
I kind of hope he doesn't wake up because I don't want to get an axe in the back of the head again. Like,
Dropped him once, I can do it again.
not comfortable. I'm pretty sure that was just fluke, but we'll see. So anyway, back to
What do we
looking at all this stuff.
What do you? Yeah. What do you say? You can see higher up than I can.
Much higher up as I look down at him and just kind of pat his head.
Wow.
So, Rozag, as you're looking around, apart from the obvious, there is the dead cultist serpent caller on the floor. Right next to him, where he fell, there is the dagger that smelled of sulphur when he tried to attack you with it. And you see a warforged body on that table. Nothing else jumps out at you of anything. The other two cultists obviously bolted with whatever they had on.
I would like to take the dagger,
I'll take-
please.
It is Rozag first. He was up there looking before you got up there.
Does
But he
the
didn't
dagger?
find anything.
Does the dagger look? Other than smelling of sulphur, does it have any? Does it appear to be valuable?
It is better made than your off-the-shelf dagger. It has a slight curve to it rather than the straight-bladed daggers you've seen in the majority of generic dagger shop. And there is a small red gem in the bottom of the handle, so like the pommel.
I'll throw it up to Venvir and go, "Make use of it."
I catch it and cast detect, please. Identify, even. Sorry.
So as you come up, he's Rozag's having a look around and he shouts over his shoulder and asks you about what happened down there. You start having a look around and answer him. Before he throws you the dagger, you notice that the warforged, there's something very odd about the way the body's been put together. It's not completely made, and it's almost like pieces to it. And as you look over it in its chest piece, behind some sort of gel-esque material, you can see the handle of a sword. So where its heart would be, there is imagine a entity of gel. What are you doing, child? Entity of gel, where you would have to reach into its chest cavity to grab this sword. And the dagger and the cultist. With a quick look over to the cultist, you do know he's got a rather expensive looking ring on his left hand.
Yeah, bitch, no, I'm gonna take that.
You reach in, give me a wisdom save. Why would a rogue check for traps? Why would a rogue check for traps?
No, why would I? And also, I'm still a little bit like disoriented from the fact that I've just somehow recovered from an axe to the back of the head that should have killed me.
So, what did you get on your wisdom save?
Don't know, I didn't roll it yet. Hold on, give me a sec. I've lost all of my d20s. There we go. Oh, 21.
Cool, so you do not pass out. I'm going to assume you can still hear me as the child is trying to rip off my microphone.
Yes, I can.
But you do feel a strange... Can you speak Elven?
Yeah.
I'd hope so. Are you not an elf?
Yeah, but I might not have been taught it.
Half
Yes,
elves, no
yes, I
elven
can.
and standard, yeah.
Cool, so but do you speak Elven, yeah?
Yes.
So you hear the words blue leaf, champion, and angelic. Those words are muttered in some sort of incantation.
Lucy, stop.
I-
Your day will come.
I'm gonna. What are you smiling at? I will smash your face in. So you, as you reach in, as soon as your hand goes around the blade, the warforged melts away as though it is liquid itself, and your hand is now wet and Lucy. Your hand is now wet and covered in some sort of gel substance, and the warforged body just melts away in that same sort of gel until the tabletop is just covered in this, well, wet gel-esque stuff. And you have in your hand a beautifully crafted longsword that has, filigree up the blade, but the filigree looks like ivory rather than the standard little curves and swirls. So, and the ivory itself, when you just turn it in your hand, some of the light is actually, it's got a blue shimmer to it, like a navy blue shimmer.
Pretty.
Trades, 1 for 1, right?
It feels wonderfully light and well balanced in your hand, and it is definitely of elven craft. You can see that immediately. And that is what you find on your investigation. Carry on.
Do I see her find this?
Yeah, mate, she's just pulled a longsword from a jellified warforged.
Like,
You got the
there is
dagger.
probably-
Sharing skin.
Yeah.
As you,
very
sorry,
sharing.
as you pull the sword, a dagger gets thrown at you from Rozak.
Not again.
Save to catch the dagger.
So you now have a slightly curved dagger in one hand with a small red gem in the pommel, and a beautifully crafted elven sword in the other hand.
Fantastic. I pop these away, and as I hear, crap, what's your name again?
Rozak.
Rozak. There we go. I was going to call you a breakfast for a short amount of time. I was like, yeah, you're right. Trade for trade. As I pull out my own short sword and throw that to him.
I won't even bother catching it. Just let it clatter past me.
Just hit you in the face.
Could I please cast Identify on the dagger, please?
So as you just launch your short sword at Rozak and he lets it fly past him and hits the ground, you then see Venver focus on the dagger, mutter some arcane words, and casts a spell. Give me an Arcana check, Rozak.
Rozak or
Yeah,
Benben?
mate.
Yep, Rozak.
I've lost my character sheet. Oh, there it is. The little Arcana check is a 14.
Cool. Yep. Okay. So you know it's from the spell she's cast is from the school. I'm going to say divination, but I think I'm going to be wrong there. 2 seconds. Identify.
You are correct. It is divination.
Cool. So you recognise her casting as a spell from the school of divination, but you are unaware of what spell. On the identify,
Okay.
what you learn from it, young Venver, is magic item or some magic ability, its properties, how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, how many charges it has, if any, and you learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you learn which spell created it. So there is the School of Conjuration was used in this Dagger.
Is this the dagger or the sword?
This is the dagger. Was used in the conjuration of this. This dagger, conjuration school magic, was used upon it. It does require attunement. It is, for all intents and purposes, a +1 dagger, which means if swinging it, you have +1 to your hit and +1 to your damage. There is a spell on it that allows you to summon a fiend once per day. Yep.
Okay.
When you summon the fiend, so when you use it takes an action to cast that spell. When you summon the fiend, you roll a d20, and a random fiend will turn up on your 1 to 20.
Oh God.
Have you made note of that, or do you need me to send you some stuff afterwards?
Send me some stuff afterwards as well.
Coolios. It actually takes you a minute. Oh no, that's a ritual. That's weird. Do you cast it instantly, or do you cast it as a ritual?
What? Identify.
Yes. Am I reading that right? Can identify be cast instantly?
Yes.
Yeah. Depending on what its casting time is.
So its casting
1
time
minute.
is 1 minute, and then it's got the little R next to it, so it can. Right. So it costs you 1 minute. It takes you 1 minute to cast it as a spell slot or a ritual without a spell slot. Is that right?
Isn't it 10 minutes for a ritual?
Yeah. So because she's used a spell slot for it, she's cast. It takes her a minute. If she wants to do it as a ritual, it'll take her 10 minutes. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so you have the dagger in your hand, but for 1 minute, you are concentrating on that dagger. So a minute passes while you concentrate on identifying that dagger, and it costs.
Where's the sword while she's doing this?
Where is the
It's
sword?
strapped to my side.
It's on her hip.
While she's concentrating on the dagger, can I make a slight hand check?
You can make a sleight of hand check at disadvantage as you try to take a lengthy blade off someone in the middle of a room.
She's focusing on a ritual spell. So she's
She
distracted.
is looking with her eyes open. So yes, her concentration may be there, but you are still a 4-foot goblin-ish, stood right
one.
next to her. Jesus Christ!
Because of course it is.
You and your sleight of hand.
I did roll for perception though, and that would have been a 23.
You only roll.
With my
you
bonus.
only
it's
need
a
to.
3.
You only need to roll when the DM asks you to roll. So your 23 is lovely.
I know, but I was interested.
So, as you step towards Venber, as she's concentrating on this dagger, you trip, do a forward roll into her, and sort of as you come back up, your hand's reaching for the long sword, but you're a good foot out of reach, and you're just staring up at Venber as she's looking down at you, still muttering her words.
Fine.
And that bit I did not read. So you get to the end of the minute. Yep. And do you have a pearl worth 100 gold?
You.
Then you get to the. Do you?
I have an orange marble gemstone that we got from a bunch of bandits we fought a day previous.
You do, but it is in your pocket. So at the end of your minute, your spell does not take hold of the dagger, and all the information I told you, you do not know.
Cool. So I just know that it's a dagger.
You definitely know it's a magical dagger. You get that sense from it, but you can't tell anything about it.
Okay, cool. That's fine as long as I know it's a magical dagger. It's still gonna punish things.
Envia, so look at the sword. Sword! Sword!
I don't know. It's better that she doesn't know it's can summon fiends. At least this way we don't get attacked by random fiends.
What are you on about?
So what are you doing, Van Ver? Are you giving him the sword?
No, I'm also going to keep hold of the sword because I know that it's a long sword that I am pretty okay with, and I really like it because it makes me feel closer to my elven heritage.
Give me the damn dagger back then.
No.
Best way to split the party, introduce magic items.
Start charging up an Eldritch.
Tell you what, I'll leave it to you in my will.
That's not what you want to tell Ross.
I was like, jeez, roll initiative.
Two-handed longsword for later. Where's Venvir? Dunno, she vanished.
So what are you doing, kids?
I'm sulking back downstairs.
Cool.
Busy being off.
You all, Van Ver, do you go downstairs? You all go on.
I'm trying to remember what you said about the ring. Did I take the expensive looking ring?
You tell me.
I take the expensive looking ring.
Cool. It is a silver ring with a small, which look like 2 claw marks on a amber stone. Like 2 claw marks have been etched into the amber stone. And the stone is encased by a silver ring.
If Abraxas seems stable, I'm probably going to wander upstairs and see what everyone else is up.
He does indeed seem stable, just needs a rest to come around. On your way up the stairs, you see Rozag coming back down, and Venver not far behind.
Find anything good?
Yeah. Rozak found a dagger, which is quite nice, and gave it to me, which I thought was really thoughtful.
Kindly gave her a nice dagger, and she won't trade. She just stole it.
I traded my short sword with you. I think that's kind enough.
Well, you get if you give us money, you can't then turn around and say someone else on trade. You haven't given trade before you do it.
What?
Offer a bit of kindness to an employee, and this is the thanks I get.
You give an employee a perk, you can't then turn around and
Thought it was a gentleman's agreement. Hand something nice to someone, and they should, hand something back. Didn't think we need to formalise these things.
I don't know about you, right? And I don't know how goblin anatomy works, but she's definitely not a gentleman.
You don't know me.
I didn't say I knew you. I said she's not a gentleman.
Fair. Can't trust these point-eared tall people anyway.
Racist.
But the good news is, Abraxas is not going to die. He's not going to wake up for about 4 hours, but he's definitely not going to die.
Well, in that case, then.
Think when he wakes up, he's going to be a problem.
But we've got 4 hours. We could totally tie him up, just in case.
I'm just concerned if he wakes up and decides to start throwing stuff at us again.
Hence the tying him up plan.
What you like with ropes, Venvir?
I don't know. Let me have a look. I start rummaging.
Thievery seems to be up your alley.
I'm good for rope, but I think I've got something better as I pull out some manacles from my bag.
Well,
I mean, they'll work.
they will work. So, your plan is to manacle Abraxas, and then, what, stay in the tower, nursing him back to health?
May as well. It seems relatively secure. I say that as my famous last words.
The only other thing I intend to do is go upstairs and have a look for any sort of scrolls or paperwork or anything like that, and then have a short rest.
Give me an investigation check, Flabbergast.
I've got a grand total of 7.
Cool, so you go up there, there is a dead cultist There is a table with some sort of wet gel-esque substance spread across it. No sign of the warforged body that was there before. Other than a couple of candles and etchings, nothing.
No worries. Yes, I'm just going to sit down in this nice empty room where there's nobody else with my 3-person ablative shield at the bottom of the stairs and have a...
Cool. Are you all having a short rest, and are you going to wait the full 3 hours? Bearing in mind you arrived at this tower at tea time-esque, so if you wait the 3 hours you're looking at, say, 9 o'clock at night by the time he's ready to move again. And you won't be far off in need of a long rest.
I'm about to say we may as well take a long rest in that case then.
I'm easy either way.
Yeah, in which case what I'll do is get... if we can move Abraxas upstairs, so... We can get Abraxas upstairs and what we do is barricade the door and then we sleep a bit.
What is your strength, Venver?
Modifier or just in general?
Just in general.
It's a 9.
Cool. What's yours, Rosa?
8.
And Flabbergast?
Mine's also 9, but I would like to point out that I'm very wise and I've probably, you know, I'd use my intelligence and come up with some kind of pulley system and rope.
I'll leave him outside.
That is brilliant. He's a 6'5" Terminator. Even the Egyptians needed to get a lot of pulleys. And it's up a single file staircase with no handrailing, so it's up to you. Are you guys essentially going to take a long rest for the evening? You're just going to stay here, set up camp, take a long rest, and wait for Abraxas to wake up, yeah?
Yes, but I'm going to do it upstairs because then there's people in the way.
Cool. Anyone else upstairs?
Yeah, I'll go upstairs as well.
Venver?
Yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs because I don't trust.
In which case, I will take my long rest downstairs because there's no one keeping an eye on Abraxas.
Yo, Abraxas tried to kill me. I don't want him to wake up and try and kill me again. Wait, no, sorry. It sounds like he did kill me.
I'll leave him outside.
Ditto, plus these manacles. Where is he going? It's fine.
So, Abraxas, you are still within the tower. You're not outside. You are currently manacled across your wrists, unless they've done it around your ankles for some reason. And you, Venver and Rozag, you're upstairs. Flabbergast, you're downstairs with Abraxas. We will jump forward 3 hours.
Can I... Sorry, just before we do that, can I scrawl a little note to Abraxas that says, having a nap, wake us in a few hours?
If you so wish. Do you write it in Gnomish or Common?
I'm going to write it in Common.
That'd be amazing.
I just seen this little comment.
So, you all go upstairs and leave Abraxas. You set up shop, have something to eat. Abraxas, 3 hours pass. It is now about 9 o'clock at night. The night is completely on the tower. There is no sunshine. You wake up in the darkened ground floor of the stone tower. The last thing you remember is Rozag Eldritch blasting you. And you are aware that you were charmed during that combat. And you've awoken. There's no sign of them free. There is a little note next to you. You pick it up, you read it, and it says, having a nap. Don't let anyone kill us.
Did they bind me, or did they decide not to?
You have manacles on.
Okay.
So your hands are manacled, but the rest of you is maneuverable.
Well, knowing probably that they're all upstairs doing whatever it is they might be doing, Abraxas will, with some concerted effort, get to its feet, turn around, and probably just sit in the doorway and act as a sentry for as long as the people upstairs are doing whatever they're doing, and take a bit of a rest.
Cool. Do any of you plan to talk, keep watch, etc. throughout the evening?
I intend to probably do like a couple of hours.
I will just take a short rest and be on watch. I'll hold off on a long rest and do the sentry thing.
Well,
probably.
it's 9 o'clock at night. You know that short rest or not, that in an hour or two, even you are still going to need a long rest, as you've been up all day. So this is the actual evening's actions I need out of you. So from now until daybreak, essentially.
I will take a full long rest and try and get up an hour before everyone else.
With that trusty goblin alarm clock, yeah.
Trusty goblin alarm clock.
My plan is to take the first watch, and then after that, I'm going to go and wake up and get her to take a watch and tell her to wake up Rorzag. Theoretically, you can all get a nice long rest.
Okay, I'm kind of okay with this. When I wake up, Rorzag, I'm gonna poke him with the dagger, while keeping the sword very close to my side. I don't mean poke as in stab. I literally mean just like poke as in a taunt, being like, oh, look at this sword that I have. Because when I'm sleeping, it's also very tight to my chest, so that it can't be stolen.
It can't be stolen easily.
Yes.
So, as you are all taking your long rests, give me perception checks. Abraxas, I'm assuming you're going to take one downstairs and just fall asleep in the doorway.
Do we take perception checks even if we're not on watch?
Yes, so Vanver's going to wake you up at some point, so I will still need a perception check off you in case something falls in
Nat
it.
20.
Cool, not 20. So what's your total score?
23.
Noted.
Sorry,
Flabbergast?
22.
22 for Ozark. Flabbergast?
10.
Vanver?
25.
Cool. Abraxas?
I got a 21.
Ooh, lovely. So during Abraxas, your time, when you take rest and the evening falls away from you and then you are awake for some of it, you look out into the woodlands further away from the tower, because obviously the missing greenery closer to the tower. You can hear the trickle of the stream that is alongside of the tower, and you can hear the sounds of animals, whereas on your way in this morning you couldn't. And you can hear the ground being scurried along, and trees, something running up into the trees, birds taking flight from tree to tree, excuse me. And you are blissfully aware that there doesn't appear to be any threat during your time awake. Flabbergast, you wonderfully keep your watch. Keep yourself entertained with some mild bagpiping, but hopefully quiet enough that the rest can sleep. You hear nothing other than the breathing of your companions, and there is no sign of Abraxas just yet. And do you check on him, or are you just going to leave and hope your note does its job?
You're muted.
We'll check on him, make sure he's not dead.
When you stick your head out to check, you can see that Abraxas is no longer flat on the floor. He is sat in the doorway, manacled, staring out, essentially.
Okay, brilliant.
Nothing passes on your lovely watch. You wake up Venver. Venver, while you are awake and pottering around, do you check on Abraxas?
From a distance, please.
Well, yeah, you're like 100 feet away from him, up on the top floor. He's on the ground floor. So you poke your head out and you can see Abraxas sat, no longer flat, laying on the floor, against in the doorway, staring out towards woodland, manacles on.
Okay, cool.
Do you leave him?
Mummy?
I wander down. Is he awake? Are you awake? Sorry. Okay.
Yes.
I wander down and I just kind of sit up on the steps. So I'm still like a good distance away. But close enough to have a conversation without having to shout across everything. And I sit with him and I look over to him and I'm like, so what happened there? With the whole axe in the back of my head thing. That wasn't great. Like at all.
Abraxas turns its head, looking at Venver for a few moments, and looks back out across the wilderness outside. And from it, you hear what sounds to be stone grinding on stone before it manages to let out a. It was a mistake.
That was a pretty big mistake. Like, did you mistakenly hit me? Did you mean to hit the wall? Did you mean to hit the cultists? Because it's like, bitch, I died. Like, come on, what?
The cultist did something.
And that's when I suddenly click and I realize that actually it wasn't him at all. And I kind of feel a little bit remorseful for also just like number one, manacling him up, and also just being really standoffish. Since I kind of understand that it's nothing that he would want to willingly do. I then go up and I take out the key and I remove the manacles from him.
As you sort of come over and take over the manacles, you notice that all of the injuries, like the cracked stone, the burnt vines, and everything, over the course of this rest, it looks like it's all started to like gradually regrow. So the stone looks like it's sort of knitting itself together. The vines look like they're like going back to their green resplendent, and the runes seem to be like growing with a bit more of a light to them as the warforged body appears to be fixing itself. Very, very slowly, but fixing itself.
Yeah, well, that's kind of cool. And I point out the fact that all of the vines are starting to look healthy again after such a short amount of time. And I go, is that to do with like healing or something?
This frame suffices.
I nod as if I completely understand. I'm like, yeah, cool, I've got this. But anyway, I'm gonna take over watch for a bit now. If you wanna rest, like I don't know what you do. You just kind of sit there with your eyes open. It's a bit weird. But I've got this for a bit if you want.
It sort of shrugs, seems to put more weight on the wall, and then all of its runes just blink off.
Cool. I continue to take my watch.
I will be entering Sentry's rest mode, which means I'm basically turned off for 6 hours, and nothing can turn me back on, except someone basically kicking me in the head.
Right, so you are now robot asleep. Venver, are you taking your watch downstairs or are you off back upstairs?
I'm going to take my watch downstairs.
Cool. With your perception of 25, as you look out, it's about an hour's passed, and you sort of try and shift Abraxas slightly to get a bit more comfortable and realise, unless you actually put a lot of effort in with friends, you ain't just shifting him. So you just sit next to him, staring out. You see out towards the tree line, you can see shapes moving, like humanoid shapes, almost silhouetted, just moving along. They don't seem to be coming any closer. They don't seem to be acting erratic or anything. There just seems to be a presence of humanoid shapes out in the woodland and the forestry, but you can't make out what They don't seem to. They're not crouching or trying to look hiding or anything like this. They're just sort of moving about. You lays eyes on about 10, 12 shapes moving about. But again, they're just moving about. They don't seem to be threatening.
Are they keeping within my line of sight, or are then they kind of going further round so I couldn't see them from the doorway?
A bit of both. Some of them just remain, and then you'll see as they, you assume, walk further away, just disappear and stuff.
Okay, cool. I take my bow out with an arrow. I knock it into place, but I don't draw it or anything like that. But I just kind of hold myself ready, just in case they start to want to come out of the woodland.
Lovely. As time passes, they do not come any closer into the tower or from the tree line, and as time does go on, they slowly stop. You stop seeing these shapes. There is nothing that comes any closer to the tower out of the tree line, or anything to cause you to fire your arrow. You've been awake a bit now. You reckon it's time to get your head down. You go back upstairs and prod Rozag with your dagger.
Cool, thanks. Quick question.
Yep.
Did I feel any any connection with the figures in the forest, or did they just seem like shadows?
You just shadows, silhouettes. There's no immediate connection to yourself.
Cool, thank you.
Rozag, you are awoken by Venver prodding you with a nice curved dagger.
Fine. I'll head downstairs and take my.
I mentioned to him the fact about the humanoid figures in the forest, just to keep an eye out.
Cool.
Only attack if they come close to the tower, and that
I've
I
100
have
120-foot dark vision. Okay. As Abraxas, I'll go downstairs and I'm probably going to notice Abraxas is like turned off and asleep. I'll keep an eye on Abraxas. Keep an eye on Abraxas, and I want to kind of keep an eye on that tree line that Venria mentioned.
So Venver goes back upstairs, gets her head down. You remain your watch, and watching the tree line, and then watching Abraxas. Abraxas doesn't budge until you, as the morning is approaching.
Before the morning takes full hold, I want to scurry upstairs and try and nick a sword from the sleeping.
Cool. Give me a sleight of hand with disadvantage, as she's laid on the fucker. Excuse my language, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Sleight of hand is a 15 at disadvantage.
Cool. Give me a perception check at disadvantage, because you are asleep.
That is a 10.
So, you as you notice the first rays of light, you know that soon you will be waking everyone up to say watch is over. You, just so you know, Rozag, this will cost you your long rest. So you go.
Why will it?
Because you are performing an action. So essentially, you spend your 2 hours of not asleep.
That's fine. I'll take it as short rest. Can I take it as short rest?
No. Oh yeah, you've already had your short rest, mate. So when you stopped at 9 o'clock at night, that is your short rest leading on. You've had something to eat, etc. So you've had a short rest already. So the long rest, you've essentially spent most of the night, and then you've had to focus to actually steal this sword. So you're
That's
not
fine then.
Yep. So you
you
will take a level of exhaustion.
Rest.
So
okay, and I'll
and you successfully take the sword. It had no sheath with it. Venver did not have a sheath for it, so the makeshift hip loop she's made or fashioned, you managed to slowly take the longsword out.
Am I no longer poisoned as well?
Yes, your poison has worn off. As is yours.
How long is left of the watch? Is there? Would I have an hour?
Yeah, there's about an hour. You want a
Can
short
I
rest?
make an arcana check
You can
on
make
the
it.
sword,
Yep, you make
just
it.
to see if I sense any magicalness to it.
Go on.
That is a 12 plus a 2, 14.
From the way Venver retrieved it, and it just looks fancy at the minute. You know, it is a long sword. It is. You definitely recognise the elven crafting skill upon it, and the blue ivy leaf filigree up the blade. As for magical, you could make a assumption just by the sheer way it was retrieved, and it is very well made. So, elves are well known for making magical weapons and items, etc. But there's nothing blatantly obvious. It'd all be guesswork.
No problem.
So you've had a secondary short rest, but you still take a level of exhaustion for not getting a long rest, and you are ready to wake people up if you so wish. They'll start waking up anyway.
Oh, wake everyone.
You are now all awake. Venver, you are missing a long sword. You all have your hit points back, etc., except Rozag, who is still in the state he was the night before. So make sure, unless you've used your hit dice on your short rest, etc. But you have. So use your hit dice. You have a level of exhaustion. Venver, Abraxas, and Flabbergas, you are fully long rested. And Rozag, and I'm assuming you went back downstairs, Rozag.
Yes.
Yeah, so Rozag is on watch with Abraxas.
I've just put in the chat the clarifications on Sentry's Rest. He isn't unconscious. He is fully conscious of what's going on around him.
I am aware.
Oh, okay. Although it does appear to be offline.
So all Abraxas knows is Venver sat next to him and tried to move him but failed. Not heavily, just sort of give him a little shift and didn't move. You are... then when she left, Rozag came down, chilled out with you for a few hours, and then went back upstairs, and then came back downstairs, and you heard the conversation, sort of, between Venver and Rozag about the shadows on the tree line, but you saw none.
Okay.
And you rolled, what, a 21, was it?
21.
Yeah, cool. 3-1, you are all back in the room.
I'm gonna wake up, kind of give myself a big stretch as I'm laying down, and then realise something's not right. So I stand up and find that my sword isn't there. Does anyone know where Rozak is? Is he downstairs or is
Well, there's Venver and Flabbergast upstairs. There's Abraxas and Rozag downstairs.
Hey, Flabbergast. Hey, wake up.
Anyway,
I'm guessing that Rozak's downstairs, yeah?
that's how I knew you were going to sleep up here. You wake.
Yeah, I'll wake him up. Okay, no problem. Anyway, it's get up. It's time to wake up. We'll go collect our reward and shit. I'm gonna wander downstairs and feign ignorance as if I don't know that my sword is missing, and greet both Abraxas and Rozak with a bright, sprightly good morning.
Morning.
Rozag, is your longsword present, or did you spend your long rest attuning it to your new summonable weapon?
I did not yet. I didn't do it. No, I've just got it tucked into a belt. It's not made any particular effort to hide it either. It's just on a belt.
Cool. You see your sword on Rozag as you go down.
How is everyone this morning?
Tired.
Oh, how come?
Spent the night getting my sword back.
That I got. That I risked.
Trading
you know,
you for the
passing
dagger.
out for. And I gave you my short sword. There was no specification on what you wanted to trade for.
Specifying now.
Give me the sword back.
Nope.
I go to take the sword.
I stand up and hold a hand out and say, "Wouldn't do that if I was you."
Now,
I'm
look
gonna
up.
pinch
There's
the
no need
tip
for
of
a
his ear.
Sorry, say again, Venvin.
I'm gonna pinch the tip of his ear and twist it.
Nah,
as like
if you
a
come
mother would do to a child.
if you come within 10 feet of me, I will take an action.
Sweet, let's go. I'm so gonna regret this, but I want my goddamn sword.
Hello.
Ah.
Ah! If I come within 10 foot, it's gonna take an action.
Cool.
I've gone to pinch and twist his ear like a mother would do.
Do you take that as... When you say take an action, are you holding an action?
I am. I was holding a bonus action to disengage.
You can hold an action. You can't hold a bonus action. So you can disengage with your action.
Um,
And I'm pretty
I'm gonna.
sure...
No, I will hold a step. I will hold it.
Hang on. So when you are holding actions, you're holding a... I don't believe you can hold a disengage.
My plan was basically to move, make a full dash action with my action, but then disengage using my bow. Scamper 80 feet away.
Two seconds.
No problem.
Right, mate. So you can ready an action. You can't ready a turn.
Okay, in which case I'll ready an action to have darkness cast, and the trigger will be if basically as Venvir approaches, you hear me muttering something under my breath. My sort of fingers and hands start sort of emitting this black smoke, and the trigger will be if she attempts to touch me.
So she has attempted to touch you. So you cast
darkness.
60-foot darkness. Yep. Which takes up the entire width floor of this of the tower. So now the entire ground floor is in supernatural darkness. Now you're in initiative. So all roll initiative.
Abraxas is still just sat downstairs and is probably like, something's going on up there.
No, this is all right next to him. Rozag was next to you finishing his watch, and the other two have come down. So all four people are down the stairs. So all roll initiative, please.
Oh.
21.
PvP. 5. I will happily go last if need be.
Flabbergast.
Push to talk.
Second, I'm just rolling the dice. I got 16, 18,
What did you get?
2-0.
Abraxas.
5.
What is your dexterity? And what is yours, Rozag?
What my initiative? My
No,
initiative's 22.
No, your initiative's 5. Did you already say 5?
No, that was
No.
me. That was me.
No,
That was Braxis saying that.
my initiative's 22.
There we go. So, Rozag, it's your turn. 60 foot of darkness.
I can see completely fine in this.
Yes, you can.
I'm going to step behind Venvir and attempt to make a non-lethal melee attack to try and kick her legs from under her.
So you're going to try and make a prone?
Yep.
Cool. Grapple check, please. So, Venver, you're rolling an athletics check, and so
17.
So are you.
18
Rozag.
minus 1.
So 17 is the DC.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Roll an athletics check.
Nat 20.
Oof.
Oh, sorry,
2
scratch
seconds.
that, because I've got a -1 on my athletics. Actually, no, I don't. I have a +1 on my athletics. Oh, no, yeah, I'm good. So 20.
Yours is at advantage, Rozag.
Okay. Nah, it's still the same.
Cool. So as you try to take her legs from under her, as soon as you come within contact of her, she manages to sidestep just around the attack. And she remains
Okay.
standing. That is your action.
My bonus action, I'll try and hide within the magical darkness. I'll just fade into the. I'll disengage 10 feet away from her and still be within the darkness.
So you disengage and then 10 feet from her, yeah?
Yep.
Cool.
Just vanish into the dark.
Well, you're already vanished, mate. Venver, it is your turn.
I literally say, just stop being a child. I wouldn't steal from any of you, so why have you stolen from me? It's complete betrayal, and that's disgusting. I don't do any action.
Cool. Flabbergast, 60 foot of supernatural darkness has just appeared. And you hear Venver shout that.
Well, at least now we know the kind of person we're working for, or at least who we were working.
Do you do anything else?
I will ready in action. Basically, if Rozag, in fact, if anybody touches me, because I'm not going to know who it is because it's pitch black, I will Thunderwave.
Noted.
Oh no.
Abraxas, you hear Venver shout their piece and Flabbergast shout their piece.
Braxis was probably just look over its shoulder at the magical darkness and just move to fill the doorway with its frame, but otherwise not really interact.
Rozag, back round to you.
I gave you that magical dagger and you kept all the loot. Sharing's, pick one. Can't have it all.
How much do you want for the sword?
The dagger.
You want the dagger?
One or the other.
You could just take the money.
Wait, not being funny here, right? But if you gave her something, you can't then demand something in return. That's not how giving works.
That's how trading works.
Didn't
I
trade.
know.
You gave. You've said that yourself multiple times.
Yeah, you questioned the trade. Didn't mean I had to accept it. Also, I gave you my shorts. You didn't stipulate the trade.
Stipulating it now.
Yeah, maybe you're not someone I want to work for.
Well, here's
And
my
I just,
situation. I quit.
yeah, I quit too. I tried to haphazardly get to the door to walk out of the darkness and leave.
You walk.
Gonna start walking towards the door as well. Or
You are both aware where the door is. The darkness doesn't hinder your movement, so you are still able to move your 30 feet. If both of you just give me perception checks with disadvantage.
I rolled 2 on both accounts, which
That's all right.
takes me up to
That's
like
all right.
8.
You make your way out, but you bump into the stone doorway and take 1 point of bludgeoning damage. And you've got a small egg-sized bruise on your forehead. Flabbergast, what did you get?
Yeah,
I got a 7.
You too take a point of bludgeoning damage as you bump your head on the way out. Probably on the crotch of Abraxas.
Do I realise that I bumped into him, or is that somebody touching me?
You
It's an
bump.
important.
It's your call. You bumped. No, because it's a new turn, mate, so you need to re-ready your action.
Brilliant. I'm okay with that. I didn't really want to have to hurt him. Cool.
So you two, you were all near the doorway anyway, because you all went up to Rozag and Abraxas. So you are 10 feet outside the door. It is beaming daylight. You are still in the forest. The tower's there. You can't see a thing. You can see, like if Abraxas was to sway, you could see his metallic stone butt cheeks pop in and out of the darkness.
Curtis, we're going to leave. Are you coming with us, or are you going to stay with this idiot?
Abraxas, it is your turn. They've all just had a conversation, and somebody
Brax,
headbutted you in the groin.
if only there was something there to damage. It looks down at the gnome and at the half-elf, and then back into the darkness, and then moves to stand aside to let them pass. But again, will not really interact or speak.
They're already out, mate. They managed to get through you.
No, fair. In that case, I will just walk down the ramp with them.
So you leave the tower as well?
I start to.
You're
and
right at the
stop.
doorway, mate. You're like 5-10 feet and you're out
Yeah.
the tower.
Well, I start to leave and then stop. And then again, a grinding sort of stone-on-stone voice comes from Abraxas to Venver and Flabbergast. Don't we need proof of dead cultists?
don't worry, I've got proof. And I pull out the silver ring with the amber and the 2 claw marks.
Good. And then it just marches in silence up to the duo.
So, unless any more actions are going to take place.
You'll hear a voice from in the darkness go, "You're not going to get very far without the job contract."
I just ignore it.
So, I need to know plans. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a stale. What are you three on the outside of the tower doing? Venver, you go first. What is your plans? Are you just going to start heading back in the direction you came-ish?
Yes, I'm going to start heading back to the hosing car.
Flabbergast, are you following Venver? Or other?
No, I am going to follow Venver and head back to town on the horse and cart.
Braxis, do you follow the 2 or do you wait for the goblin darkness?
I will follow the duo.
Rozag, you hear their footsteps or the sound of their footsteps getting further away. Your darkness lasts 10 minutes. Alright, cool, you drop darkness.
I'll drop it. Yeah, no, I just dropped darkness and I
I didn't get the second bit. I got you drop down.
I follow behind them.
Cool.
I'm able to catch up because I walk quicker than Flabbergast, so it'd be pretty easy for me to, if he's not running, just to catch up eventually.
Cool. If Flabbergast sets off running, that'd be amazing. No, get away from me.
I'm probably just going to climb on Abraxas if he's all right with that.
Why are you sweating?
We'll take that as a yes. So you climb on top of Abraxas, and you're now all walking 30 feet. So Rozog, if you wish to catch them, you need to get a little bit of a jog on, but not. They're only like 30 feet ahead of you, and it wouldn't take you more than a second or two to catch up to them if you so wish. Now,
I'll just walk after them.
cool. We're going to leave it there because it's 2 minutes to 2. You will need to trek to the horse and cart that you had to leave in the woodlands, and then begin your journey back to town if that's where you are heading straight back to, which was a just short of 2 days trip, and we will pick it up there next week. So thank you very much for listening or watching, or if YouTubing or whatever you're doing. If you are watching this and you've made it to the end, thank you very much. This is session 3 of our campaign Black Sunlight. We will continue it as much as we can in the madness of the world at the moment, keeping ourselves entertained. You can see all my social media stuff at the bottom, the Heavyweight Gaming. I forgot to mention at the beginning that a good friend of mine, Roughworks Creative, who has just started doing or shouting out more about himself. He's a very, very talented woodworker and leather worker. If you look up Roughworks Creative on Facebook and probably Twitter, I think, you'll be able to see some of his stuff that's going on. He makes incredible dice trays from nothing to completion. With it's all handmade, hand grooved, hand carved, etc. They're really, really cool stuff. So thank you to Nick at Roughworks Creative for sticking his name on my stream. Yay. Thank you very much to the players, and take care of yourselves, guys and kids and girls, and we'll see you in a bit. Bye bye.
Take care,
Indeed.
folks.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, there we go, muted and all that palaver, you fucking lunatics.
Oh, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, as soon as Rob mentioned staff, employee, I was like, if he hits double figure sessions, then you 3 a week. Yeah. It's one of those cases where the character build is unbelievably amazing, but the character is getting binned. I'm pretty sure your sword does less damage. A long sword's 1d10. Ah, because yeah, if you two-handed it, yeah. So yeah, So cool. Before you go, Steve, can you guys change this to Wednesday evenings? Well, shit.
Yes!
I have no evenings. I DM Monday to Friday.
This is my style, okay?
Cool. We'll stick to the afternoon then for now. Cool. Right, now you can go, Steve.
Boy, do you need some chocolate?
Jesus Christ, Jamie, what just happened? Like session 3, mate. Do you know what I mean? I knew that of the two that would clash, if there was any clash, would be Rob and Hannah. But they're fucking Jesus Christ. To be fair, like Rob's character will probably get himself stabbed unless he comes up with something out of the bag. But I do think in that scenario, then they're provoked by keeping the magic weapons and then prodding him with them when she woke him up. So, essentially, they're both as bad as each other. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad of that. It makes me feel all warm inside. Yeah. Well, the idea behind it is, depending on how long we can get away with doing it, your backgrounds will also be bigger. Because obviously, straight out of the bat, level, low level stuff, I don't want, especially when we don't know what's going to happen out the back of the lockdown and all this palaver. I don't want to write pages and pages of background with you guys for 4 sessions. Do you know what I mean? But I already know the bullet points of your lot's backgrounds, and they don't need to be immediately apparent, but it means that the longer we go on, that I can pull them out and work with you guys to broaden them so you can feel more part of the world that we're building and stuff. Yeah, it's cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. It was, but yeah. So you are 100%. I meant to say this to you last week. If I didn't, you are 1,100,000,000,000%. There is no knowledge of a warforged stroke soulforged outside of Ravenholm, and exactly, mate. There are 6 provinces in Ravenholm. All have a speciality. The House of the Forged. Yep, so they are like supernatural blacksmiths. They are the ones that created the soul forged stroke warforged. Nobody else, to any recollection, knowledge of anyone, is able to generate, create, etc. warforged. So this is part of your background, obviously. There's bits. So I'm writing up quite a lot of backgrounds because DMing for 5 sessions a week is stupid. But But yeah, so I'm writing quite large backgrounds for a lot of my players, and I'll get to you guys when I get to that area of the world. And the House of the Forged is one that you'll get quite a lot on, and about Ravenholm and stuff.